stats update. I have Jack's stats updated. Plus, I added new stats. There is no wrong or right way of doing this. It's just getting as much data that you're able to get so you can communicate with your child through math. And it's a great way to get the desired outcomes that you're wanting as a parent versus you just want victory so bad versus being calm, collective, right? Like you're at a baseball game, just record as much stats as possible so you can communicate with your child, because they're not going to listen to you in the car when you say you need to focus. And I've seen that a lot over the weekend. A lot of parents losing their freaking minds, not having a clue. They want it so bad, but they're not willing to go through the process of actually putting information into their child's brain to get the desired wants they want from the sideline. But they rather scream. That's lazy, and you can be more productive by just taking simple stats, and it'll get you an understanding where your child really is, because if you don't do it, and you're just there screaming on the sideline, you're really serving no purpose. But what do I know? I've only been watching this craziness and been trying to overcome the many, many problems U.S. soccer gives us with all the nut jobs out there. We have plenty of them. But I know one thing is you can manipulate them, because I've done it. And I'll have on my YouTube channel, the ones not are just listening, go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Coach Cameron Soccer, or just Google me, YouTube Coach Cameron Soccer. You'll find me. It's not that difficult to find me. I had my son tracked on 3 games, and over the weekend, he had 2 on Saturday, which is illegal, but we pulled it off because we play in Hispanic leagues. We do whatever we want. And yeah, COVID is real. But not in the soccer world. We play on. There's no social distancing. Everything's rolling. No mask. Love it. But that's my choice, so don't get offended if you're a mask person. I'm not. I'm fit and healthy, and I'm good to go. And you cannot get COVID outside in Arizona. There's no freaking way you can get COVID outside. It's not possible. It's too freaking hot. Impossible. You get it indoors. So I'll just stay outdoors as much as possible. And that's what we did. Played 3 games over the weekend, and they were good games. He had a game. They beat Excel 4-2, lost to Rising Desert Elite 2-1, and then they won their 3rd match, Tucson Dorados. Now, that's on 2 different teams and 2 different leagues, and that's what we choose to do to get the reps, because it's all about numbers. In the highlighted yellow shows records. For the ones that do not know, I added more stats. So typically I would just record touches on the ball, to the passing the ball forward, was it successful or was there failure? And I would average the touches. I did takeaway assists, which takeaways is just anytime they intercept the ball or take the ball off someone dribbling. Takeaway assist is double teaming, being around the ball. Someone actually took the ball away, but it kind of bounced to my son. That's a takeaway assist, being around it. And then I do hustle, and I keep adding more and more. So what I did now is I'm now splitting the stats by first and second half, because I want more data. So on his last game against Tucson Dorados, which they won 2-0, he had 52 minutes playing and 64 touches in the first half, 41 touches in the second half, totaling 105 touches. And then in his successful passes, he had 12 in the first half, 10 in the second, giving a total of 22. Giveaways going forward were 6 in the first half, 4 in the second, and a total of 10 failed passes. And then back passes, he had 4 in the first, 3 in the second, totaling 7, and 0 giveaways going backwards with passes, which is very good. And that's what you want. You definitely want to give a bad pass going backwards. Good players tend to go forward, and that's what you want. You want players that can go forward as much as possible, as direct as possible. That makes sense, foot to foot, to be able to make those decisions. So his average touch rate was 2.69 on the ball. He plays the 10 position and the 6, so he's on the ball a lot. Takeaways, he had 4 in the first, 8 in his second, totaling of 12. 17 is his record for most takeaways in a game. And takeaway assists, he had 3 in the first, 1 in the second, and totaling 4. And then hustle plays, he only had 1. And what I consider a hustle play, and this is just how I do it, it's a 10-yard sprint or larger to defend with a purpose. It's what I see. You can do is whatever you want. Any data you can give your child and to recognize them for good things. Like I could probably give him a lot more for sprinting 10 yards here and there, but it's the defensive effort. Offensively, he does fine. He's, a lot of people are like that. Offensively, it's easier to attack, and put energy into that, but it's hard to put energy into the boring defending. So I really focus on that for my son. Dive-ins I've added. He had 0, which is not necessarily a good thing because you want him around the ball as much as possible. 2 shots in total and blocks, nothing. And I added a new one, which is loss of dribbling. So this last category, see it, lost ball and dribbling. So they got 2. And then I set up goals, the 1,000 touch club. That's a goal. It's not worth a t-shirt in my opinion. He's at 819 touches in the month of August and September in a game, and 196 passes going forward, and 88 going backwards. And what is that, like 260, 270? And when he gets to the 1,000 pass club, I'm going to reward him with that. So this is data. This is how you communicate with your child or your player. I print this out for my son, and I'll give it to him before every game, just so he's constantly thinking of it and what really matters. It's about making those decisions and be able to compare and contrast. This is what you need to be thinking about for using stats. If you want a copy of these stats, email me at coachcameronpodcast at gmail.com, and I'll send you a copy of this, and you can change the data however you want. And I'm not really good at Excel. I haven't got it where everything populates perfectly or anything like that. I just haven't put the time into it and just make sure I have the data up. But I'm going to add another element to my stats. Not only am I going to record what I'm recording, I'm actually going to have a diagram of the field, and I'm going to mark where he's having his where he's receiving the ball, where he's passing it. So I want to look over, is he losing the ball in the defensive half or the attacking half, the final third? I think there's a difference of difficulty depending where you're at. If you're in the attacking third and you got pressure, you probably have potentially 10, 11 people around the ball plus your teammates. You could be in a small amount of space with 20 people around you. 10 to 15, but it's more difficult in the attacking third, especially inside the box. I'm going to record that as well. There's areas my son needs to work on is shot selection, and that's another reason I need to mark that down. And this is very easy to do, and the more you do it, the more you learn, and the more you add different kind of data points that you want to cover. Questions I've had on it is like, how do you know when the ball's going, if they pass the ball sideways, is it forward or back? I consider it if it's going directionally to the goal. So if it's a square pass in the middle of the field, that's backwards in my opinion. If it's a square pass going towards the goal in the final third, that's going forward. There's other elements of the game where you got kids, your child gets the ball. It's a difficult ball to deal with, and they take a touch and they lose it, or they lose it dribbling. Is that forward to pass? It's not. It's just lose it dribbling. That's why I added it. I just circled it on my stat sheet, and I put an Excel spreadsheet of how many times he lost the ball dribbling. So that's another one I added. So that's what I do. That's the update, and I'll keep you guys updated as much as I can, at least once a week, to keep you guys understanding there's a way to have a conversation with your child. Parents are very important. they're huge. If parents aren't part of the process on development, regardless if they have a soccer background or not, you're missing the boat. You need the parents involved. That's why I hate the fact that 3-4 years ago or whatever it was, they made in Arizona anyways, I don't know if it was US wide, that they had coaches on one side and parents on the other side. That's lazy, and that's the coach isn't really effective. You have to know what the parents are saying. You have to control your parents as far as what they say and encourage them to start doing the right thing, which is helping the development process together, not separated. It was a bad idea, and now Arizona is transitioning back because they were wrong. And I called them out. I called them out immediately. Search my podcast. I'll put it in this link description as well, covering that, how stupid it was, and I was right. They were wrong. That's why they're going back, because they don't listen to the Coach Cameron Soccer Podcast. And that's all I got for now. I'll see you guys a little bit later.